Welcome to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Samantha Salmon, certified integrative nutrition coach and brain health licensed trainer. And today we are talking about cravings. Some of you may be feeling like eating healthy means giving up all your favorite foods. Oh no, all the fun is going away. Oh no. Okay, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. What are your favorite foods? Because let me tell you, the raw vegan community, they have already solved for this, okay? They have already solved for this. It's called Raw Vegan Gourmet. So anytime you feel like you even get triggered, because we talked about this in the Beat Stress Eating training. If you get triggered and it's inducing stress, and then all of a sudden you want something sweet, my whole thing is grab some fruit, make a smoothie, and make it a nice, dense, creamy, delicious smoothie with bananas and vanilla and your spices and whatever else, that you like. Almond butter. Fill it up. You got the fat, you got the protein, you got the savory deliciousness of it. Fill it up. That's how I comfort eat. I comfort eat on raw foods, okay? I comfort eat on raw foods because I want to comfort myself emotionally because it's a true thing. It's a real thing, right? The brain and the gut are connected through the vagus nerve. And we feel good. We feel pleasurable when we eat something that we enjoy. There's this bliss point, right? We got the G spot in the brain, the nucleus accumbens, that's just being basically caressed when we eat good food, okay? But the thing is, we don't want to damage our brain with refined sugar, right? That's no good. The brain does not like that. You actually drop essential functions of the brain and you run the risk of falling into anxiety, depression, low mood, having disharmonious relationships, which can cost you lots of money, but it can cost you your marriage. It can cost you just a tight-knit community around you, because a lot of folks are lonely right now, especially in the raw vegan community. They are feeling feelings of loneliness, which there's a lot of reasons for that, which we touched on a little bit in Beat Stress Eating, but I go into it more in my Conquer Your Cravings program and also my leadership program, because honestly, I feel this is an opportunity to step up into leadership, but we won't go too far into that. Let's stay focused, right, on the cravings. But if you are having this craving for quote unquote comfort food, list all those comfort foods, right? Find the raw vegan alternative because it exists. I know it does, okay? If it's lasagna, any kind of pasta, any kind of, what is it? I don't know. Tacos, whatever it is. There's a raw vegan version. They have already solved for this. Some really innovative, great culinary artists have already solved for that. So you can find things that taste good, that feed your feelings, even though technically you can't feed your feelings, okay? You cannot feed your feelings. You're gonna still have those same feelings after the fact, but at least when you're feeding it with these foods, you're actually nourishing the brain to keep you on the up and up, to help you actually, to support you in fixing whatever the issue is. Whatever is triggering you, you are more set up to not be triggered in the future when your brain is doing well and is healthy and is well nourished. So this is why using raw foods as comfort foods is your best hack. That's your best hack. Plus the fact that it will keep you at a healthy weight. Feelings of deprivation, right? That some folks say that leads to binge eating or whatever. If you're binge eating on healthy foods, what does it matter? The only time, like I have personally, and I shared this story in more detail in the Beat Stress Eating training, of binge eating as a high raw vegan eater, but I was eating foods that aren't raw, and because they weren't raw and processed, actually, they cause digestive upset. It's not like I got fat off of it or anything like this, but it definitely hurt me. It physically hurt me. So I learned my lesson. Sometimes that's one of the things when it comes to unhealthy food addiction. We need to feel consequences before we learn our lesson. But the feeling of deprivation is just that. It's a feeling. It's a thought. It's a thought, right? The whole idea of deprivation is a thought. which needs to be looked at. We need to kill that negative thought. I can't have pizza from Pizza Hut. I can instead have a raw vegan pizza. I feel deprived. That's how you know this is an unhealthy food addiction. The gluten in the wheat is making you feel like that. You don't want to give it up, like you can't give it up. But the taste, to have something tasty that's fatty, that's salty, that's satisfying, you could get that in the raw vegan pizza and spend way less time preparing it. So the whole thing is, even when you're on this journey of trying to reorient your mind and mindset around food and how you deal with emotions and things like this, if you are binge eating on raw foods, it's okay, honestly. Binge on raw foods, binge on fruits and vegetables. You will be fine. Like, honestly, you will. I promise you. Honestly, I have never met anybody who had developed a chronic illness or anything that wasn't reversible by binge eating on fruits and vegetables. Honestly, I don't know what the issue could be. What could the issue be? I've binged on bananas, and the only thing I had to show for it was a healthy body within its healthy weight range with no health issues. That's the only thing I had to show for it. I dealt with gas and bloating because it was too much. Okay, lesson learned, I cut back. That doesn't mean I stopped eating bananas. No, I just have less. I have less bananas, but I still eat my smoothies. I still put in all my savory stuff to really feel satisfied. And maybe you're on a journey of really changing your palate. You're not used to that. It's still not doing it for you. That's when you really need to lean into your primary foods and start working on the emotional stuff and keep food in its proper area, which is nourishment. We need food to survive, right? After 6 months of no eating, we waste away, we lose muscle mass, we go into starvation. We need food to survive. We need food for energy and nourishment, right? Even while we're sleeping, our most metabolically hungry organ in the body, the brain, needs to eat. It needs fuel so that it can do all the work that it's doing while we are sleeping. So we have to eat to survive, for just basic heart beating, breathing, all of that. If food is in its rightful place, where we're only engaging it for its necessary function, which is survival, that means that the emotional needs, that's empty, right? That we feel the void that we've been using food to fill, we need to now start focusing in on that. Our primary foods, a fulfilling career, spiritual practice, consistent physical activity, and harmonious relationships. We need to focus in on that. Which area would you say needs the most attention in your life? If you want to share, drop it in the comments below. While you're on this journey, I highly encourage you to practice mindful eating. And mindful eating, I would include mindful prepping in this too, because the whole process of prepping your food from scratch, especially raw foods, washing it, cutting it, all that stuff, plating it, and then sitting down to enjoy it. This will actually make you feel satisfied longer with the foods that you're consuming. That whole process, especially when done right, when you calm yourself down, you're not rushing through it to get to the next thing. You just focus in on that. Give that the T, time, energy, and attention. Focus in on it. And what's happening while you're doing that is you are actually calming your nervous system at the same time. So you can actually better absorb the nutrients from the foods that you're eating. Your body goes into that self-healing, restorative state instead of being in a state of stress, which a lot of folks, I know I'm from New York, right? There's a lot of folks in New York running around the streets, eating, trying to get from here to there to do all this stuff. All that stress, eating, you're not getting anything from it. You're not getting anything from it. And most of the stuff they're eating on the go, running around, is trash. When you start here, I'm telling you, things fall into place. You now have the time and the awareness to focus in on the primary foods, those areas of life that need your attention. Planning ahead is essential. So I love to have a plan, which is why I founded the rawfoodmealplanner.com. And you can check it out at rawfoodmealplanner.com. There's lots of resources there. There's a full year of raw vegan meal plans, a full year of high raw meal plans that I started like years ago. I think there are meal plans there from like 2016. But basically, first, the way I began the plans was just tracking what I was eating and then recording it. And I've made tweaks and adjustments. Sometimes there's broken links. Folks' websites aren't up anymore because a lot of it I would link to other folks who are creating great raw recipes as like a major, like as a hub basically for any raw food enthusiast, anybody who's just trying to get into it. And so anyway, I like meal planning. I like meal plans, and especially when I'm busy, because I have my checklist, my to-do list. When I wake up in the morning, I pretty much like to get into work because my brain is I'm just flowing. I'm in a vibe first thing in the morning. And then my stomach's, ooh, time to eat. It tells me it's time to eat. I'm like, okay. And instead of me thinking about it, because my brain is already wrapped up in work, doing whatever creative thing I'm doing for Raw Food Meal Planner, I just find it helpful to just go to a meal plan and just be like, all right, we eating today. Okay, so it's Sunday morning. Okay, it's Tuesday lunch. Okay. And so I have meal plans for myself. I do. I have meal plans for myself. And I just follow it because it saves me brain energy. So my brain energy can be focused on other things. Now, if you need support with emotional eating, if you're having cravings and overeating, definitely book a consult with me. I have a program called Conquer Your Cravings where we go into it. We start off with the free training and that I just offered that's not available at this moment, but I will probably do another free training at some point in the future. So make sure that you are connected with me on my email list. You can get on there by downloading the Healthy Digestion recipe book. But first, with the Beat Stress Eating, we lay the foundation in Beat Stress Eating where we talk about understanding the chains of addiction and finding the lasting motivation to change. This is where you start to work on those tools that's going to keep you committed, right? Your why, building up your bank of your why, the foundation, your goal. What are you looking forward to? Who in your corner is looking to you? Who's looking to you as a model, as an example, right? Maybe you are a mother, maybe you're a grandmother. There are people watching you, especially the young people. They will not listen to what you tell them to do, but they are definitely watching you. And you're having a major impression on them. Best believe. They may not acknowledge it. They may not say anything. They may say no to everything that you tell them to do, because some of these brains out here are oppositional brains. They say no to everything, right? Just like how some people tend to say yes to everything. They don't have any healthy boundaries. You have oppositional brains out here that just say no to everything. It's a real thing. And it has to do with their anterior cingulate. Don't take it too personally, okay? Especially with a young developing brain. It's not fully developed yet. But everything they are seeing is being solidified in the brain. It is teaching them something. They are pulling meaning from it. And so you want to step up into healthy leadership by being a model. We go through all of that. And then we also talk about exploring the brain dynamics in addiction. We go through all the brain systems and their connection to unhealthy food addiction. But in the Conquer Your Cravings program, we go even deeper on that with the goal to actually minimize relapse as much as possible. So for all of you who have come to me and said consistency is where you struggle, this is the program for you. So if you're interested in that, definitely connect with me. You could book a coaching call and I could tell you more about it and start helping you moving in that direction. But on this journey, I also want you to be mindful of having some self-compassion. One of the things that I like to talk about a lot is 80-20 rule. If you focus on doing all the things that you're supposed to do for your health 80% of the time, but something happens that pulls you off the 20% of the time, don't focus on the 20% of the time, because guess what? Things are going to happen. Life is going to life. And next thing if you just focus on that 80, you will look around and be like, wow, I have been on this lifestyle for so long, and I can't believe it's been that long, and it hasn't been a burden, and I've been enjoying it, and I've just been living my life, because food is such a small part of life. It can have such immense damage on the body if we are not making the right choices. But honestly, we have an oversized impact of food on our lives right now. It's too much. It's gone out of control. Food cannot be your husband. Food can't be your long lost father. Food can't be that comforter for you. That's not what it's meant to do. That's not what it's meant to do. So you actually need to focus in on these things and actually work on this. First of all, the self-love and self-compassion, and then building healthy relationships around you so you have that support system, and also nourishing the brain so you have the resiliency to foster healthy relationships. So looking forward to connecting with you on a coaching call, and until next time, be well.